Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Keith Engle here for TGI Sports Talk's MLB update. How's everybody doing today? It's a great day in the neighborhood, as Mr. Rogers used to say. And some others, I suppose. Good to have you with us. We got some baseball to talk about. We'll wrap up our final thoughts about the WBC, at least for now. Both what we just witnessed and what we can expect going forward, as Rob Manfred has talked about playing this event in midseason, and it will rectify, hopefully, some of the major problems that I have with it. But we'll look at some other news around Major League Baseball as well, though. The Yankees and Mets and Dodgers and the rest of Major League Baseball getting ready to kick things off here in less than 2 weeks. Tampa Bay getting back to Tropicana. Bichette playing some shortstop for the Mets to increase his versatility. Just plenty of things that I don't know. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Oh, it's good to have you all with us as always. If you come in, comment, always thanks. Good morning, Danny. Or good morning to you still? No, good afternoon to you. Happy spring. Spring is upon us, even on the West Coast at, I think it was 11:46 Eastern time. Well, I guess it would have hit 3 hours before that in California, right? The equinox happens when it happens. I don't think it happens in different time zones. I don't think. I don't know that much about these things. I don't know much about anything. Good afternoon, Danny. Good to have you with us. It's just been a weird day here. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, thanks to everybody watching on the McGrath Podcast Network today. Check out all the great shows on MPN. Great stuff from Brian. Who else? James, Bo, Sonia. Good stuff. Check it all out. Whether it's our individual shows or the roundtable shows that we do. Enjoy. The Sacramento A's. For only another 8 years or so till they built that stadium in Las Vegas. Thanks to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all favorite groups scrolling the bottom of the screen. John Gonzalez, the man from the Sports Authorities. Greg Rawlings from America's Pastime. Flo and Can from Bottom Line Sports. Let's Talk Sports. Check out their great podcasts as well. Ken Krause from Golf Bud Sports of All Sorts. And quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. Ralph does some good stuff out of Ocean City, Maryland, and specifically the Sports Corner on Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern with Smokin' Jim Frazier. We're wrapping up, as I said, I don't know if this will be the last time we talk about this or not, but the WBC, overall, a tremendous success. Set a record. The final set a record with 10.7 million viewers, an average of 12.1, I think, at its peak. 4.4 was a number for the U.S.-Japan final back in 2023. So more than doubling that number. So the event has legs. That's better than most baseball games, by the way. And we got to see some great play from guys like Bobby Witt. I mean, I know Bobby Witt's a great player. But to see Bobby Witt playing with the best players in the game, I mean, it's easy for me to see. To me, he's the third best player. I thought he was in the top 10. He's number 3 behind Judge and Ohtani as far as best players in the majors in my mind. Defensively, he was amazing. He impacted the games on every way you can. Defensively, with the bat, with the glove, with his legs. Tremendous player. Fun to see. Nolan McLean, I think, acquitted himself pretty well in that final. A couple of mistakes at home, gave up home runs. But I think the overall, again, I'm a big proponent of this event. I'm not a proponent of the way that it's handled by Major League Baseball. And that doesn't just affect the U.S., it affects Venezuela, it affects the Dominican, it affects Japan, it affects Italy, it affects everybody. As long as the Major League Baseball teams are going to put restrictions specifically on pitchers, we're going to have issues. Mason Miller needs to be in the game in that final. He can't not get the ball. But they had requested he only pitch if they got into a safe situation. Well, a safe situation sometimes is a tie game. Not literally, but effectively. And the only way that's going to change is this gets moved to midseason. And Rob Manfred, and not a guy that I have a lot of nice things to say about, has considered doing just that, working on it with Major League Baseball. The Major League Baseball Association, Players Association has to be involved. The Nippon League people have to be involved. And there's a Softball Association, for whatever reason, that needs to be involved in this as well. But to me, this can be played, at the All-Star break every 3 or 4 years, whatever you decide it should be. Yes, there's TV contracts to work out for All-Star games in the future, but I don't want to play this every year, but I want to play it every 3 or 4 years, and I want to play it at midseason when I don't need to put these restrictions on players. And don't tell me, and yes, I know, actually, you can tell me. I'm not ordering you to do anything, but I'm not really going to listen a lot to, Major League teams aren't going to want their players to get hurt during the middle of pennant races. Well, NHL players send their players to the Olympics. I didn't see any lack of effort there and worry about injury. You're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. But you could extend the All-Star break. It's already nearly a week now. You could extend it to every 4 years to 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever you need to play this. Maybe they can condense it. But this is an event worthwhile of continuing to let grow. And I'm afraid we keep playing it in the spring with the restrictions. It will die on the vine here in the U.S. And I really don't want to hear that players don't care here either. I mean, was it obvious? Does it mean more to the Venezuelans? Maybe. But I don't think the U.S. players don't care because they take a more business-like approach. You watch the Latin American countries, and please, don't be calling me a racist, okay? Culturally, they approach the game differently. We know that, and it's fun to watch. There's a useful joy to watching them play the game. I don't always like it when I see the bat flips and whatnot. Whatever. I get it. I'm starting to get it more, to be honest with you. I didn't like it when I wasn't so wrapped up in watching countries play against each other. But to me, just because somebody's, more joyful and showing their emotions more than the U.S. did or may have, I think I saw plenty of emotion out of the U.S. Just the different approaches to the game, a different style of play, if you will. So anyway, I'd like to see this get moved to the summer months. They can figure it out. I mean, if you can figure it out in hockey, you can figure it out here, right? What do we got here? I missed some stuff. Good morning, Chris, or good afternoon, Chris. Sorry. Quite the DH log jam in San Diego. I haven't seen one like that since the Yankees they weren't winning. Yeah. Actually, the Yankees have had a revolving door of DHs through those World Series years. Little Santiago Espanol is hitting like Babe Ruth, and Dave Roberts says, "Welcome aboard." Best three minus. You got to help me out, Danny. Best three minors pitcher. I'm not sure. I know you're probably talking into your phone, so I'm not sure. Help me out there, would you? Hello, AC. Good to have you with us. Good afternoon, Rick. Good to have you with us. Let's go Red Sox. Ready for the start of baseball. Already got tickets for the Red Sox versus Yankees at Fenway. Don't wear your Yankee gear. It's always a it's a magnet for problems. I know you're not going to do that. Listen, I will tell you, I know you're in love with Abreu. Roman Anthony, I liked what I saw to him in the I liked what I saw to him in this World Baseball Classic. I think Roman Anthony is the guy you want to hitch your wagon to in Boston. I like the way he approaches a game, and I like a lot about him. Jimenez, who's 6'5", has clearly lost weight, and it's paying off. Where is he right now? Oh, he's in Toronto, right? Listen, there's a lot of really good teams out there. I missed Rick Danny's hello to Rick, and Rick's hello back to Danny. Sorry, guys, I got a little cough. I got something in my throat here. That's a great call, AC. They all cared about that when they tied that game up on that home run. I mean, that team that they got up and they looked like all the other teams when they were excited. There's just something, again, there's something different culturally about the way they approach the game in Latin America. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I've been a critic of it sometimes in Major League Baseball, feeling that there's some showboating or showing up of players. But, you know, I can't get on guys for lack of emotion and then get on guys for showing emotion, right? I like to see that fire, and I'm a person who can kind of admit when he's wrong, and I think I may have been wrong about this. All the years that I was angry about, oh gosh, who's the guy in Toronto who in my mind, I know we saw bat flips before this. God, who's the guy that he was a former Pirate, went to Toronto and really started hitting a lot of home runs. Anyway, you know, at that time I was ticked off, and I'm like, come on, you know. And now I've kind of come to the conclusion I was a bit narrow-minded. So I love the joy that some of these teams approach these games with. And by the way, Italy's another great story. They don't play baseball in Italy, guys. There aren't baseball leagues like there are in Japan, Korea. Even Israel's got a league. But there's no baseball leagues in Italy, not that I'm aware of. You know, and I get it that, you know, you're bringing guys in. If you have heritage, if your great grandparents were from a country, you can go play there, which is, that's fine. You know, I've sat on some panels with people who are like, well, you know, why would you go play for a different country? Well, if you have heritage there, A-Rod came up the other day, right? A-Rod was going to play. I looked this up, actually. He was going to play 1 year for the U.S. This is the first year he was eligible to play. And he backed out of playing. And then he was going to play for the Dominican Republic after that. Now, again, his ancestry is there. I'm okay with that. Austin Wells, I figured out why, you know, his maternal grandparents were from Panama. Or, no, I'm sorry, Venezuela. So he gets to play for them if he'd like to. He could play for the U.S. as well. Yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I could go back to I don't know where I could play in Germany or in the Netherlands or in Ireland, and none of them are any good or have teams in some cases. So I guess I couldn't play at all. After the Dodgers-Blue Jay final, tickets for opening day are $154 for the worst seats in the house. In Toronto, not surprising. I just got a good deal on opening day tickets at Yankee Stadium. I can take the bus down with Yankee Trails, and I don't think they're the worst seats in the house, but it's $49. I can take the bus and get into the stadium, and I think we're going to do it. For $49 a ticket. I might be in the bleachers. Who cares? I think we're going to do it. It's a Thursday afternoon. You got to like Abreu. Didn't I do? Listen, I like what he did. I'm just higher on Anthony, I think, than I am on. I know you've been high on Abreu, and maybe with some hyperbole, AC. But he's a fine player. Again, I'm not big on saying guys who have done nothing, relatively nothing, are on their way to the Hall of Fame. But that's the way we get excited about our own teams, right? Batista, thank you, Danny. I used to get ticked off, and now I don't. And I don't know if it's because of the WBC and really enjoying the joy that they play with. I don't feel like it's showing somebody up now. I guess you should be prepared to get one in the ear hole, I guess, if you're going to do that. The pitchers do it. The U.S. pitchers do it too. I mean, Bednar did it in the WBC after getting out of a big spot in the I want to say in the semifinals. Maybe it was quarterfinals, whatever. Still, I'm okay with that. Venezuela may not win the WBC without Abreu. Maybe. I mean, look at everybody kind of played a role on this team. Arraez played very well. Obviously, Suarez played very, very well. Their bullpen was lights out in the two games I watched them play, pretty much entire games. And that was the difference in the game. You saw the big difference in the pool play to the knockout round, right? In pool play, if you could get into a team's bullpen, as a rule, you were going to have a chance, mostly have a chance. You saw Japan in pool play get pushed by Great Britain, get pushed by Australia. But then once you get into the bullpens, it's a different story. You saw it with the U.S. and I want to say Great Britain, I think, too. That's where I think, there's the length of the lineup, right? The depth of the lineup. And then the bullpens. You get deeper into their bullpens, the better chance you're going to have to win. When you get to the best four teams, then that's not going to be an option. All these bullpens were loaded. And again, my biggest problem is the fact that Major League Baseball pulling the strings on too much of this, right? I get what their issues are. Danny mentioned contractual issues when we brought this up this morning. And there's other issues. They don't want their players getting hurt, I know, in what they see as exhibition games. And to me, you got to be all in or all out. I don't want to see the Scoobles of the world come and then go. And I don't want to see anybody come and go. I want you to be there and be all in. And if you're not all in, then stay home. But that attitude's got to include their Major League Baseball teams. And I get the dangers that they worry about, but this is really good for the game. If you don't think getting, again, 12 million eyeballs in front of a baseball game that to some people is an exhibition game in the middle of March, early March, is important, I think you're wrong. I mean, they also had, they set a record with, I think, 1.6 million in attendance for 46 or 47 games. That's pretty damn good. Especially when you factor in some of these pool games, we're not really drawing that great, say, in Puerto Rico and the games I saw in Puerto Rico, even the Tokyo Dome didn't look like it was overflowing with people in pool play. But I can tell you the place was rocking in Miami and Houston once we got to the quarterfinals. I was shocked to hear it sounded like they were saying 70-30 Venezuela rooting interest to 30 for the U.S. It felt more like 95-5 at times Tuesday night. But again, that's okay. It's a huge Latin American population in southern Florida. We know that. That's not unexpected, but I just love the passion for the sport. And listen, when I travel a lot in Latin America, and I have been known to stop and watch a ball game, a pickup game on a dirt baseball field. I've been known to stop and grab a beer and just sit and watch 3 innings while my wife is out shopping. There's a couple of places near the ports where you can see these kids, and they're playing. Man, they're not playing with the best equipment, but they're playing with there's some real talent out there, and there's some real joy, and it's fun for me to watch. I like baseball. Avino, Italy, played in the Little League World Series in the 70s. Cool. I don't remember that. I was just a young lad. How'd they do? I don't remember, and again, I don't remember every international team. When I was growing up, it was, it was Taiwan and the U.S. every single year, it seemed, in the final. They have the Italian Baseball League since 1948. So I'm wrong then. Then the announcers were wrong the other night too. Is it Major League Baseball? Or I shouldn't say. Is it professional baseball? Are they paid? This is my fault for not doing more research. Let me check this out, Rick. Well, they got hockey. That's the first thing I get. Italian Baseball League, 1948. Oh, this is, I think this is the Softball Federation that actually has got to be involved in the conversations as far as any changes to the WBC. Many teams are based in northern region of Italy. Well, maybe when I get to Italy in next May, I'll be able to go watch some baseball there too. So until 2010, they featured a promotion and relegation league format, similar to soccer, the one that the Mad New Yorker thinks we got to happen all sports here. Part of me, when I watch the Rockies play every year, part of me thinks it's not a bad idea, but so and then I guess they're back to that now. It went away for 8 or 9 years, and now it's back. Interesting. Well, that's what I get for listening to John Smoltz. I knew he didn't know what he was talking about. That's why I don't repeat things without researching them. And this is exactly why, because you get bit in the ass when you do it. What happened to Marcus Stroman? He sucks. The fact that Marcus Stroman could be number 5 or 6, by the way, number 6-man rotations. I'm going to get into that a little bit today. Where the Mets are going to go to a 6-man rotation. Give Marky Mark a call. The fact that he could pitch on some of these teams is one of the reasons we shouldn't be thinking about expanding Rob Manfred. There's not enough pitchers to go around Major League Baseball. Do not expand, Rob Manfred. I don't know why I've never been a big Marcus Stroman fan. I think my comments here, Chris, are a little bit colored by the fact I've never been a fan. It's 6-man rotations, though. What are the Mets? The Mets are talking about going to a 6-man rotation to protect Senga, to protect McLean. Well, listen, first of all, we're already protecting them by letting them throw no more than 90 pitches in a game. If we go to 6-man rotations, the only way I'm going to be okay with this, I'm going to see a bunch of complete games. What's the point of pitching your best pitchers less? I don't get it, man. I don't get anything Major League Baseball does when it comes to handling pitching staffs. Everything they do that they think is protecting pitchers is actually hurting them. We see injuries today that we didn't see years ago, and maybe they just weren't diagnosed. I don't know. 6-man rotations. I know teams have done it out of necessity, usually when they didn't have very good pitching staffs. And the Mets might be in that spot, but any pitching staff has got one or two guys that are much better than the other three. And tell me again why we're not getting them more starts and more innings. We look at every opportunity to cut down their innings. To save them for what? They get hurt anyway. Was any pitcher ever, listen, and maybe I'm misremembering, but the Mets are famous for protecting pitchers and them getting hurt anyway. Jacob deGrom, Jason Isringhausen, Bill Pulsipher, Noah Syndergaard. They baby these guys like crazy. They all get hurt. How about we actually let pitchers pitch and build up their arm strength? I'm going to keep saying it until somebody does it. We got to get a good couple good clips out of that. Tom Lawless, good call, Chris. Good call. Tom Lawless in the either the 82 or the 85 World Series. I'm going to say 82. Pinch hit home run, I think, for Tom Lawless, who probably only hit about 6 home runs his whole career. How'd I do? You're on fire today, man. Which Bill Hall? Bill Hall had a couple of really good years in Milwaukee, but he had some bad years too. I don't know what they're doing in Milwaukee. Milwaukee had more wins than the Dodgers last year, went out in the first round of the playoffs again. And now they've traded, their third baseman who finished third in the Rookie of the Year voting. They haven't done a lot to improve that team. Now, maybe Luis Rain will be that guy, and Bill Hall he was a good Major League Baseball player, played everywhere. He was a walking Swiss Army knife. Anyway, Rick, great job calling me out and showing me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Italian baseball. My wife would kill me. You're so close for what? So close to what? Get me? Tom Lawless? You didn't think I'd know that one, did you? Yeah, Tom Lawless, the whitest man in America probably at the time. I mean, that certainly wasn't a cultural thing. Am I right? Is it 82? Iowa State put a can of whoop ass on Tennessee State. 20-7 right now. NCAA tournament going on, Danny referenced. Not a huge topic for our MLB update, but Wright State. Listen, I had a good. I'm not going to get. I don't want to change direction here. We'll get into this on Sunday with the NCAA tournament. I had a couple good calls and a couple bad calls here the last couple days. I actually took a really interesting path, Danny, with a long parlay on all the biggest favorites on the money line, and put a bunch of money on yesterday. That's something I usually do. I missed a Luke Voigt comment. Where? Come on, did I? I don't see it. Put it back up. Put it back up. I never miss your Luke Voigt. I'm not seeing it. Where is it? I think it might. I think the system might have missed it somehow, because I don't see it. Put it back up because I don't see it. No, you're good. Don't worry about that. We tend to stray from the topic here now and again. It's not a big deal. What else is going on? Listen. So anyway, WBC done. Finney. Mark DeRosa said he'd like to manage again. I don't think he'll get asked back because, by the way, besides the obvious issues with restrictions that need to be addressed, Mark DeRosa is managing. I'm sorry, less something to be impressed. I'm not impressed. Again, you're managing with one arm tied behind your back. I get that. But in that last game, I know Cal Raleigh hadn't been setting the world on fire, but Cal Raleigh's got to be in that game. He's got to at least get a pinch hit appearance. And he waited too long to get Gunnar Henderson in that game for me. Bregman hadn't set the world on fire. I get starting him against a lefty, but as soon as Rodriguez is out of the game, and I know they're going to throw a bunch of righties in there, Gunnar Henderson has to be in the game before the ninth inning. Very small sample size, but Gunnar had a really good WBC. Maybe small gripes. But all in all, I hope they do go to midseason and we move past that. Ohtani, couple of things. And Danny, since you're here, I really want to talk about this in case you're going to pop out of here for any reason. Yes, a Chuck Norris, not baseball related, but definitely a rest in peace to Chuck Norris. I saw this first on Facebook this morning when I was doing some stuff for the morning show. And then I kind of ignored it because it looked like one of those bogus reports, because I did a quick search and there was nothing other than the fact that he had been hospitalized yesterday, I think. But then I had gone to the Post to look at something, and there it was. So Chuck Norris, dead at 86. We don't know. By the way, I think Chuck Norris could still beat this. If anybody can beat death, it'd be Chuck Norris. And maybe he wants to take on death on his own terms, and they're battling it out right now. So we may see Chuck Norris back in a day. So, I mean, no disrespect. And my thoughts and prayers go to his family and friends. But I'm not sure he's gone. I think if anybody can beat death, it's Chuck Norris, man. Anyway. Gotta have fun with this stuff. I mean, you know, it's inevitable. It's going to get us all. So have fun while we can. Danny, I wanted to, while you're here, I was reading an article today too that Ohtani, and I don't think this is going to happen, and I'm not really sure how the Dodgers will use Ohtani. I think you'll see him more and more as the year goes on pitching, but he wants to have a heavier workload pitching. I don't see him starting, maybe a spot starter here and there. Again, if I need a spot starter, I think I'd rather have Ohtani than Marcus Stroman. I know they don't want to risk injury, and maybe they don't need to use him because that pitching staff is really good. How good are the Dodgers going to be? I thought they'd win 115 last year. I'm going to make the same prediction this year because they added Kyle Tucker, who maybe he's on the starting down the downside, maybe. But they added him, who was better than the outfield they had last year. Their outfield was not very good last year, and they still won the World Series. They added Diaz to a bullpen that was very inconsistent and prone to injury. So the Dodgers just get better and better, and they're certainly the best team in baseball. And then if you're tiering them, right? To me, I got the Dodgers, and then I got like everybody else. Not everybody else. That second tier is going to have all the teams that, are in the playoffs, but not winning World Series, and it's not good enough. Toronto, the Yankees, Boston, Philadelphia, the Mets, even though they didn't make the World Series last year. They should make it this year. I guess I'd put them in a different tier than the guys I was just talking about. Seattle. I still like Seattle. I still love Seattle's pitching staff. It's not as good as the Dodgers. Another bit of hyperbole that bit Keith in the ass last year. But I'm curious what they'll do with Ohtani as we go through this year. Is Andrew McCutchen hitting with a chip on his shoulder? Where did he sign? He signed a minor league contract. Somewhere. Where did he just sign? I want to say Texas, but that doesn't feel right. Where did he just sign? Now there was a time you could listen. Give me the. Where'd he sign? Yeah, with the Rangers. I was right. Look at that. Listen, Andrew McCutchen has been a really good player. Was for a short time a very good player. And he was a good player the rest of the time. But Pirates don't want him. The Pirates don't want him. How good is he? You think Ohtani pitch every 6th game and without pitch count limitations? This is your opinion, not what the Dodgers will do, I assume. Dodgers are going to protect some of their pitcher. I'm going to pretend I didn't read it. Randall the Handle Grinchuk looking for the Yankees 4th. Probably going to get it. I expect that Dominguez is going to get sent to the minors. He's a right-handed hitter, so he doesn't rarely have the short porch like you have in right field. But down the line, it's kind of short in left field. But, right-handed hitters don't normally tear up the power numbers the way left-handers do in Yankee Stadium. Guys have been known to do it. I'm not saying they don't. A-Rod hit a bunch of home runs, obviously. But Grinchuk will be likely the 4th outfielder for the Yankees. And we know Spencer Jones has already been sent out. From everything I understand, Dominguez is going to the minors because he's probably it's starting to look to me like Jason Dominguez is a quadruple A player, right? He's too good for triple A, and he's just not good enough at the major league level. And I hope he continues to develop. Maybe he's still young, but he doesn't hit lefties well enough. The Yankees are too left-handed. They need that a little bit more out of the right-hand side of that outfield platoon. So Grinchuk's going to get at bats against lefties when Bird sits. And maybe even Bellinger sits against some tough lefties. So you're going to see him play. And Grisham will sit against some of those guys as well. Listen, I'm not excited that, Grisham is going to have the type of year that he had last year. And I still think that the man is just too lackadaisical about the way he goes about his job. You saw the video I put up a couple weeks ago, Boone, explaining away him just booting a ball and making very half-hearted effort to even pick it up. I get it, spring training, but this is when you build good habits. And I think the Yankees will rue the fact that they signed him for $22 or $23 million, the qualifying offer, in my mind. Again, there were other options they could have pursued if they thought Jason Dominguez was not ready to play every day. And at the time, they didn't know if they were going to re-sign Bellinger or not. But I like Grinchuk off the bench. If I can find a way to get him 300 at bats, I think he'll have a pretty good year. So again, this Ohtani comment, Danny, this is your opinion. This is what they should do with him, is pitch him every 6th game. So you're 4 6-man rotations. In the Dodgers case, I guess I get it. Now I'm kind of going to contradict myself, right? I'm going to say, yeah, I get it. But he's a little bit different. He's not a pitcher exclusively. I've got to protect him because of what he gives me offensively. So it's a little bit different situation than what I'm talking about, say, with the Mets. Who's ruined more arms than the Mets? Oh, I already saw that. I thought that just popped up. So, Chris, where's that Luke Voigt comment? I would not have skipped it, I promise you. I don't skip comments unless it's a mistake, whether I agree or disagree. Who's here? Hello, Frank. Good to have you with us. Frank Laterzo from Glove Fist, Jack Hirsch's partner on Friday nights. Good to have you around, Frank. Feel free to comment on your. I don't know who Frank roots for in baseball. I know he's a Ohio State fan. Football. I'm kidding, Frank. Oh God. Oh God. What else is going on in baseball? Oh, by the way, so baseball's entering baseball. You can't make this stuff up with Major League Baseball. So they've entered into another agreement with a gambling site called Poly. What is this called? Poly. Damn, I had it up here. It's Poly something. You'd think it'd be right there, one of the top stories, but it's not. Maybe Poly Market. It's a place where you can bet futures, basically. It's like the stock market for sports and pretty much anything. You can bet on, you can predict future outcomes for the Iranian war, I suppose, right? And I mean, I don't know. I hope we're like plus 1 million. I'm sorry, minus 1 million. But Major League Baseball is still trying to get over the stain of Clase and was it Ortiz, the two pitchers who were throwing. They were throwing pitches. It sounds weird, right? But their cohorts in the Dominican or wherever they're from were betting on whether they would throw balls or strikes, because you can bet on that stuff in some of the betting apps. And they would know which pitches they bet on, and they would throw a ball or a strike or whatever. So anyway, they were fixing pitches. We're already still battling the stain of that. We're not through it, but baseball enters into yet another agreement with another betting site. One thing that needs to go away with I'm not a prude. I bet on sports, right? But if a baseball player, I shouldn't be betting on baseball. And one thing that has to go away is all these prop bets have to go away. That is the most dangerous thing in all of sports. Prop bets. Scores, like in the fifth inning, Yankees won't score at all, or the Yankees will score 1 run. Easiest thing to fix. Aaron Judge will strike out 3 times. Well, it's probably a far fetch. Aaron Judge has no reason to throw a bet. But we're starting to see, whether it's the NBA, whether it's college basketball, whether it'll be in football, we're going to see that these prop bets are where the fixes are in. It's the easiest thing to do. But here, baseball, totally tone deaf, that goes into another agreement. And again, I'm not against gambling, but I don't think the leagues themselves ought to be in bed with them. Enough. Hang on here. Rumors for Dodgers organization that he will pitch every 6th game without limitations. See, that's okay. You know, with a 6-man rotation, if you're gonna let a guy pitch a complete game and throw 120 pitches, well, then I'm okay considering a 6-man rotation. But if we're going to go to 6-man rotations and then still have pitch limitations, like I talked about before, and Danny's saying that the rumors are the Dodgers will let him pitch without, and I assume the rest of the pitchers, or we're just talking about him because of his injury history, probably. Yeah. I got that. Greg Maddux pitching a 6-man rotation with the Padres. How'd that team do? They didn't do anything, if I remember right. Is there a 6-man rotation, a full-time 6-man rotation that's ever won in baseball? So hello to Frank from Danny. Monday night, what'd I say? Did I not say Monday at 7? I apologize. Glove Fist. By the way, congrats to Jack Kirsch, and I don't have my copy of the book. My copy of the book is coming tomorrow. but Jack's authorized biography of Michael Spinks called Michael Jinks Spinks is out and available. I'll reshare the post I put up the other day where there's a link to Amazon where you can buy the book. Even I bought it in hardcover. I promised Jack, I read everything on my Kindle, but I did promise Jack I would buy the hardcover, and I did. And when I have it, I will certainly hold it up and promote the book. But I'll reshare that on my pages where you guys can get it. They are scheduled to have Michael Spinks with them Monday night on Glove Fist, and Jack feels like we'll get him probably on the weekend playbook at some point. We might record it. We'll see how Jack feels would be better for Michael. He's a bit of a retiring kind of guy, according to Jack. It's hard to get a lot out of Michael, which why it might have taken him so long to write the book. But I'm really looking forward to writing it, reading it, and having some fun there. So check that out, and check out Glove Fist Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for correcting me. Prop bets are more popular than baseball cards with the youth of today. This is how kids today are learning about players. You think they're learning about players by betting on whether the next pitch will be a ball or a strike? You know, whether Aaron Judge will hit a home run tonight or will strike out 4 times. I'm not saying you're saying it's okay. I see the quotation marks, Chris. So my question is, rhetorical, right? I'm not questioning you. How about the youth of today do what I did? There's nothing like learning about baseball from the back of a freaking baseball card. Or, I got it under here, buy a baseball reference book. Or have one of your sites be the baseball reference. There's no better place to learn about the game. It didn't start when you were born, right? Baseball didn't start in Aaron Judge's rookie year. Ugh. Sorry, Chris, that's not meant for you. That's in general. Padres, a bannerless Padres, that is, right? Agreed. No, not yet in stores. Good call. Who goes to a bookstore? There's not even a bookstore here you can go to. I used to love the bookstore. Barnes & Noble, Walden's Books, Border Books. I'd hit the bargain table. I'd walk out of there with 10 books. One of the things about retirement, I have to tell you, is I have gotten back into reading a lot more. I always read, but I couldn't read the way I wanted to, and I'm back to reading, and I've read so many great books recently. I have a very wide variety of topics I've read. I've actually just read a series, and I didn't realize it was a series until I read the first book. It was historical fiction. If you haven't read historical fiction, it's basically fictionalized books with real people, real characters, real people as characters. I've read a few recently, all the way with JFK, which was really good. It's a alternate history if Kennedy had survived and some of the things that happened in those following 6 or 7 years, 5 or 6 years, I guess. And also, I started reading one that this one became a series. I didn't know that. It was the Nuclear War of 1975. All real characters in it. It's really, really interesting. I like this type of apocalyptic books. But I'll read a biography. I'll read one of these fiction books. I'll read something that's nonfiction. All at once, I'll have them all going at once. And depending on the mood I'm in, I read them. And I've read so many books in the last 7 months. It's a passion, and it's great to get back into it. And I can't wait to get Jack's book. But anyway, I love the bookstores. But where are you going to find a bookstore now? Although they are talking about opening a new bookstore, I think, in Crossgates. I think Barnes & Noble is talking about going back in there. I don't know where you can find a bookstore in the Capital District. The Albany, Saratoga, area. I don't know where you find it. You want to do that, Danny? I'll see. Can I share? It's hard to do. I don't know if I have Google Share because without work, I don't pay for any of this stuff anymore. You guys all want to make your predictions? I'm just going to do my predictions next Friday, most likely. Jack and I are going to do some predictions on Monday, and then I thought I'd do a show, a baseball show Friday. And then get into it. But if you guys want to give me predictions, I will give you the parameters. Right? I want all division winners. I want the 3 wild cards. I want the teams that will advance to the League Championship Series. I like the teams that will play each other in the World Series and the World Series winner. I'm going to ask for an MVP in each league, a Cy Young Award winner in each league, and a Manager of the Year in each league. We'll probably keep it simple. So I can put that spreadsheet out. I don't have any place to put it where we can all share it. That's the only problem. I don't pay for Google spreadsheets anymore. I mean, that was a work thing, right? I could have done it very easily through there. Let me think about it. But everybody can send me their predictions of what I just said, and I'll post it on the website. I'll post it on my page this coming week, and then maybe we just do it there. Fill in your responses there, and then I'll compile them all into one. I do have them from Drew, so we can do that for sure. I can tell you I'm not picking the Yankees to win the East. 40-12. Nice. I took another one of those large wagers on all the favorites again, the large favorites again today. For the upsets yesterday, there's a handful of upsets yesterday, right? I don't think anything lower than or higher than a 3 seed lost. Yesterday. Barnes & Noble still, it's gone from here. It was huge here. We had 2 different stores, well, 3 stores. There's one in Saratoga, there was 2 in Albany, and I loved Barnes & Noble. I'd go in Barnes & Noble and spend a day, but with Kindles and whatnot now, I haven't bought a book. I got rid of all my books. I showed you. I remember the baseball lineup book I got for you guys, or showed you guys, which is still sitting right here. Catch that one. Make sure you get this book. I've got about 5 books. I've got books that some of the guys I interviewed had sent me. But no, I don't think it is there, Rick. You're talking about Colony Center? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's because I don't go look for. I did hear they were going into Crossgates Mall though. But Rick has got me twice now today. So apparently Colony Center's Barnes & Noble is still open. That was a pretty good store, by the way. They used to have one. Well, it was probably this one was across the street, if you remember, right near the Toys R Us. They had a Starbucks in it. It was awesome. Do they have a Starbucks in this one and where I can spend the whole day? I don't buy books though. I download them all. YouTube must be censoring you can't put it up. Did you try to put it up again? Jack has a worse record than Carlos. You like that format, Danny? We'll do that. So what I'll do is I'll post something on TGI Sports Talk, and I'll invite you guys. You can either you can do whatever you want. You can send it to me in Messenger. You can put them on the site so everybody can see it. But I'll compile all the picks, and we'll see who does what. Yeah, they have the Starbucks still. Okay, I don't know why I thought that store closed. And I've been in the Colony Center for quite frankly, I've been to a mall about twice since COVID. I can't tell you the last time I was in Colony Center. Now that I think about it, we might have still been in the office at the time, because I would go over there to get my eyes done at the vision place there at lunchtime. I use the post office there from time to time. I don't do, COVID. COVID was the best and the worst thing that ever happened to me. I don't need to leave the house to do a freaking thing. Oh, I do want to have lunch with Rick Sherlock though. Thinking about Monday. You said Mondays and Fridays. Fridays are hard because of the show. I mean, I have time to get wherever we're going to go and back, but think about where you want to go, Rick. And maybe we'll try to work out. Oh, shoot. I may not be able to do Monday. Now that I think about it, we might have our granddaughter. We'll play it by ear. But think about where you want to go. You want to meet halfway? You want to come? I'll come up there if you want. I don't really care. Although I don't know any place in Amsterdam to go anymore except Rain Dancer. Although Jack will admit. Listen, Jack makes a lot of mistakes, and Jack. There are times where people will message me and they don't like something Jack said, and Jack often will misinterpret something read in the comments. And comments are different for Jack, right? Mac and Jack didn't spend a lot of time on comments. I do spend a lot of time on comments, and I don't think Jack thinks any less of you guys or that you guys are not important. I want you guys to understand that. Jack just doesn't get the delay, number one. So it's impossible for me to backtrack. Once we moved on, I won't put a comment up because it's too hard. Me, I can go back. It's easy. So when I do shows on my own, which has been my forte, and you guys are my co-hosts, it's a lot easier than when I'm with Jack or with anybody, because, you can't go back. It's harder to go backwards, and it's harder to, get them on the same page you are. I try to miss no comments. I mean, I'm more likely to put them up and not react to them, right? But it works out. He's adjusting. I mentioned he would be bomb up. That's probably why he didn't get up there. I don't think you want to mention bombing anything anywhere in the world. You might get. I'm probably going to get in trouble on Facebook. I guarantee you that's probably what happened, Chris. That's hilarious. That shows you, man, the Nazis have got it out for us. The word Nazis have got it out for us. Of course. Oh, God. Anyway. Guys, so next week we'll get into it. I'll put a post up about making selections, as Danny prompted me to do. And I'm still laughing about the Luke Wolf thing. If you think about what happened in the Oval Office yesterday, you'll get why I'm laughing so hard. You can't make it up. Guys, we're going to move on just so we can keep our time constraints in order. I appreciate you guys so much for joining me. We'll really start getting into some real hardcore baseball here pretty soon, because the real thing starts in just, I don't know, 7 days, something like that. Maybe it's next Thursday, next Friday. Still thinking about going to Yankees opening day myself. So, guys, we'll see you soon. Rick, let me know where you think you want to go for lunch. I'm amenable to about anything. So, guys, have a great day. We'll see you, or great night. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.